I think we need somebody to unite our country. I suggest that J.D. Vance, as a Marine veteran, go up and do some kind of speech where he invites all the Democrats and he names them so and so. Like, Dan, you have so many veterans in your district. Sean, you have this military base in your district. I invite every person on the military services committee, whatever it's called, to the parade and get rid of all that crap that happened the last time and invite them up on the stage with the president. We need to unite the country. So that's
Amen
my
to the
thought.
amen to that one, Fran.
So that's my thoughts.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
Fran, I think it's a I think one, you speak for tens of millions. Two, I've made this point before. Historically, after 8, or in this instance, it'll be basically 12 years, the country looks for a kind of change. They look for the opposite in style and substance from the leader that they have, right? So if you think about Bill Clinton, people, George W. Bush, I'll uphold the honor and dignity of the White House, kind of be quieter and more formal, right? After Bush with the wars, Barack Obama, a new generation, I'm going to get out of the wars, get past the 1960s, right? Donald Trump, like Barack Obama, not paying attention to the kind of working class. Joe Biden, we're going to calm down from the Trump era, right? A little bit. I will be very curious where the country is at the end of these 4 years. If they want the same, I can't see J.D. Vance pivoting away and doing what George H.W. Bush did to Reagan and saying we're going to be kinder and gentler, because I think Trump would lose it and be like, what do you mean I'm not perfect? So if you're a Democrat and you're thinking you got to be your authentic self, who is the person who is an authentic kind of calming voice and a unifier? And that, I think, is the interesting thing. Someone's going to try to be the louder Trump, the Democratic version of Trump, the punch him in the mouth at all times. We'll see. I think it's a great point you make. I think there's a lot of hunger for it.
Sean.
Thank you for recognizing me. I didn't want to jump in too early, Fran. I was going to note that it was the Armed Services Committee, but that would have been rude. So thank you for your points. I will take that going forward. Look, I get your point. I think that to Mark's phrase, you speak for tens of millions of Americans. I just don't think we're there right now. I think there's a lot of people who are still really upset. I dare say the word pissed is probably a fair assessment of where people are in terms of the climate, and they're not ready yet for this moment. And I say this as someone who's conflicted on this because I share generally your view, but I'm also like I'm tired for someone who was a conservative in college where we were shut out. We had our speaker canceled because some lefties didn't like his position on a particular issue. I've dealt with this for decades, and it's always the right that is told, could you guys now let everybody, like, you guys should lead the way. Democrats over and over again, starting with Bork, going through, I mean, just over and over again, they get away with stuff. When the calls from Maxine Waters told people to gather around people from the Trump administration, get in their face. When Chuck Schumer said, Gorsuch, we're coming to get you. It's always explained away. They didn't mean it. It wasn't that bad. But everyone on the right is guilty of something. They need to define themselves. They need to apologize. And I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to just roll over and say, okay, now that the Republicans are in power, we should be the ones. Democrats have led this charge to divide this country. They've canceled people. It's not my philosophy, and I think I speak for most Republicans and conservatives. I don't really care what you do in your personal life. I don't care how you, who you, spend your quality time with or whatever, but I don't need you to impose your values on me. And that's generally the conservative philosophy. The left decides that they want to indoctrinate us, force us to abide by their way of life and their values. And I'm not willing to just roll over yet.
Well, it would shame that if Maxine Waters didn't show up when she was invited to the parade to represent all those veterans in her district, it would shame her into behaving better, don't you
she
think?
knows no shame. Maxine Waters knows no shame. And most of these folks, the problem, I think, and I'll keep this general because I think it's probably a little both sides. I think that both sides wouldn't go to the other side's event regardless. And I think Maxine Waters is the epitome of someone who could care less. but there's a lot of people that are probably in that bucket as well. And so I think the idea of shaming them, they know no shame.
I think those who know no shame, it's a bipartisan thing these days.
Yeah,
you did.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.